Tell me a little bit more about the contrast. We touched on it before when we had home visits,
yes,
and we had GP appointments. And although the NHS is wonderful,
yes,
there are things that we miss now, don't we?
Well, I think what we miss actually is GPs who did a different type of work when I was younger. They were there at their surgeries twice a day, morning and night. Morning and evening, not night, morning and evening, and they did visits during the day. I remember Dr. Hamilton coming to see my father in his little car and his black bag, and he'd say, my father was called Archie, now then Archie, how are you today, because you're my best blooming customer, as words to that effect. And this is what GPs did. They didn't immediately send you to the hospital. They dealt with you themselves. And I wish we could come back to some of that, actually.
Yes.
Of course, people today get problems and infections and all sorts of things that GPs are not expected to deal with, and they have to be sent to hospital. But there are things that can be done in the in the surgery. Too many people, because they cannot get an early-ish appointment with a GP, tend to go to accident and emergency.
Exactly. And then there's a blockage.
The blockage, and this is where the pressure is. Particularly at holiday times, at Christmas, New Year, and all of that. Maybe people drink a bit too much, they fall over, they have an accident, something. They're immediately at accident and emergency, instead of going through the usual channels with the GP. And that has got to be changed, there's no doubt about it.
I think also, you talked about how healthy you were. Maybe we are perhaps a little bit less healthy, but also much more demanding, aren't we?
Oh, I think we are. Oh, certainly. Because we never had the service that we have today. And now it's there. We are taking advantage of it. And to some extent, advantage with a small a is fine. Advantage with a capital A is not right. We do take advantage of it, and we do, if I may say so, tend to abuse it.
Yes.
We abuse it by going to accident and emergency when we don't have to do that.
Absolutely.
We abuse it when we have an appointment with a consultant and we don't turn up and we don't let them know.
That's terrible.
That is terrible. I go to see a consultant once in a while, and there is a notice on the wall, and quite rightly so, something like 712 appointments have been lost this month because of people haven't cancelled at a cost of XXX pounds. Now, maybe we'll have to come to a system whereby if people don't cancel, maybe there's going to have to be a fine of some sort. Then maybe some payment somewhere might have to come into this.
Because people take for granted.
They take for granted that it is there. But it is also, I tell you, I have tested the system of cancelling an appointment. It is extremely difficult to get a voice at the other end of the telephone.
So we should make that bit easier.
Administration is not as good as it should be. In fact, to tell you, I'm making this recording with you now, but 2 days ago, I left a message to try and change an appointment. And I got what I call the metallic voice, say, leave your name, hospital number, blah, 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 telephone number, and call you back. That is 2 days, and I've never had a call back. There is a lot of things to be changed there for the better.
Yes, absolutely.
So administration has got to be improved upon. And I think I want, if I could say so, less interference from the politicians. We have changes of secretaries of state who all have got their ideas how to change things. Let it settle. Yes. Let the medics get on with it. Yeah. We need a good administration there, of course we do. But there's too many ups and downs, there's too many changes made in the National Health Service.
And some of those debates or we go down blind alleys and they don't lead anywhere, like lots that's happened to Royal Brompton. I know that you'd like Royal Brompton to stay where it is.
Of course, I would. And so time and resources and expenses are used up on things like that, which is quite unnecessary in many cases.
But coming back to how the NHS is the wonder of the world.
Yes.
And how do you think people should be celebrating this year? We've heard quite a lot about it, but how do you think people should be doing, even privately, just themselves? Is there a way that you would send a message out to people to Just celebrate what we've got.
Well, just appreciate what it is. It is the most civilised society, civilised instrument that I think mankind can produce. And we have done it in this country.
Yes.
And I think we've got to express our appreciation of it always. And, I don't know, I can't quite answer your question as to how we celebrate it, but there are sort of complaints from some people. Oh, I'm waiting too long, it takes them a long time. I'm going to go to hospital, I'm there forever waiting in the line. Well, tough. Take a book, or take a newspaper or something. Be prepared to wait. You're seeing the finest people that you could possibly see. You're jolly lucky.
Yes.
So, don't just sort of grin and bear it a little bit. Certainly we need to train more people in the health service. But be prepared to not abuse it and to be sort of patient about it. One thing I really must say to you, I have been in the Brompton, I think you probably know, many times in the last 10 years. My first occasion was open heart surgery. And every time I go, I just rejoice in the United Nations staff there is there. It is like the United Nations. I have had cardiac consultants who are Syrian, Portuguese, Welsh, Hong Kongese, English, Greek, Italian, Palestinian. What more could you want than that? They're all come to the Brompton. They're all beautifully, wonderfully qualified people. The tops. But I've also had tremendous service from the nurses. And I shouldn't single a group out, but if you pushed me,
I will.
And I had to,
I will.
I'd give an accolade to the nurses. I always say, where are you from?
Yes.
I'm from Spain. I'm from Poland. I'm from the Ukraine. I'm from Germany. All over the place they come and they work for us. How long hours do you work? They tell me. Where do you live? Miles away from the hospital. What time do you leave home in the morning? When I'm on duty at 8 o'clock, I've got to be here at 7:30 for the handover at 8 o'clock. I leave at 6 o'clock in the morning. These young girls getting home in the dark, leaving in the dark. No nurses' homes like we had in the old days,
No.
None of that. And they come from all over the place at vast expense, and they travel to get there. And you press a button, and they come and look at you, and they change your bed.
Wonderful.
And they give you some water, or they help you to get to the toilet. No, and they take your temperature, and they keep you cheerful. Wonderful. My accolade goes to those nurses.